So about maybe 3 weeks ago, I started using Cursor AI to help me develop my video game I'm making. However, it wasn't always like this. For reference, I started making my first video game using AI back in June. I was using ChatGPT to do pretty much everything, to write all the code for me, to edit the code for me, and to make the images for my game and such. And this was quite a weird process, right? Where I would explain to ChatGPT, right, this is what I want from my game, this is the function I want to make. How can I do that? It will give me scripts to make, game objects to make, how to link things up and such. And I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. I would take a screenshot of the Unity actual dashboard to figure out where on earth I was supposed to find certain things. So effectively very much rock bottom in the sense of what I was doing. And what I ended up doing is, I continued using ChatGPT, where when I ran into an error, I would literally copy and paste all of the code from two, three, four relevant scripts, give it all to ChatGPT, and hope that it could figure out what the issue was. Sometimes it took a lot longer than other times, but for every single time, I was at least able to figure out what it was and to get through it. However, that process was still a little in the dark because when you're having to rely on everything with AI, that was a bit of an issue. And one of the biggest difficulties I came across was giving AI the relevant context, right? Being able to ensure that effectively ChatGPT knew what my scripts looked like so that it could figure out the issue. And I kept doing that, and then about 3-4 weeks ago or however long ago, I came across Cursor AI. Now, Cursor AI is pretty much ChatGPT, but it connects to your scripts and to your game script effectively, where it can make new scripts and it can edit your current ones, and it's got all the context or all the script context that it needs. Now, this has saved me a lot of time because what it now means is that all I focus on is I just need to focus on being able to share what I want it to do, right? What I want the new function to be, what I want it to edit. Ideally, if I can direct it to whichever scripts I need it to, change or such, that's ideal. Because then from there, it can then go away and it can go and do all those edits for me. All I then need to do at the end is approve or reject them. And I've done this in multiple instances. And obviously, at the moment, I'm still, pretty new to using Cursor. I'm still figuring out what the best approach to use it is. So, at least in terms of how I'm using it, what I'm pretty much doing is this. When I am looking at my game, I'm figuring, first of all, I look at my Trello board. I'm figuring out, right, what's the next thing I'm trying to do on this list? One of the things that I was focusing on before was, okay, I want to make the council ability function or decree function, where effectively each council member has their own ability of sorts. And it's like, okay, I then went to ChatGPT. I basically, if the concept was a bit difficult for me to explain, then I'd go to ChatGPT and I'd speak to ChatGPT and I'd get it to give me something of a summary prompt, which I can then copy and paste to Cursor. If I found it was somewhat easy to explain, then I just speak straight to Cursor. And then what I do from there is I'd then enter that into Cursor and it would go away and it would read scripts. It would then make scripts if it needed to, or edit scripts as well. Now, what was also important with this instance is I still did have errors from time to time. And so what I like to do with Cursor is ideally I want to try and direct it where I can. If there are certain scripts which I believe is going to affect whatever it is, then I want to reference that. For example, I might want, if I'm trying to fix the zoom in and zoom out function on my kingdom map, I might want to say, hey, look, I think the kingdom map controller script might be something you want to look at. Even just little things like that will help. So yeah, so far it's been really, really quite good because when I actually asked it to do the council decree / ability functions, it went away and it made all of the, effectively the council member ability that made about 8 or 9 scripts, 7 for the council members, I think 1 manager script, and then 1 initializer script. So effectively, really, really good. And it would have taken me quite a bit of time if I were doing it my usual ChatGPT way. So yeah, what I'll pretty much say is that Cursor AI, or at least the way I'm using it, is effectively done for you coding. You can use it to you can code alongside it if you want to. For me, I've been doing this whole process without having to learn code. I don't really have any intentions to learn code. I know I've had plenty of people tell me that I should, or at least I'd benefit from doing that. I think at the moment I just want to keep working at what I'm doing. And again, if I run into roadblocks, so far there hasn't been a roadblock that I ran into that I haven't been able to solve with AI. So we're going to keep at doing that as well. Now, again, one of the things which I still have to do myself is the actual Unity stuff, the actual UI stuff, where I'm, obviously putting together panels and such like that. So that's something which I'm still trying to get better at, right? I'm I'm not very good at that at the moment, but I'm still trying to put that together and such. And then, of course, what I am still using ChatGPT for at the moment is images. I know there's different models and different sort of other AIs with images. I'm pretty happy with how I've got ChatGPT as well. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with Cursor. It's really good. Is all I can say. I'm going to continue using it. I think once I look to make my second game, because obviously I'm still trying to finish the first one. If I start off with Cursor, which I probably will, I think that will make progress a lot more streamlined and it will make the process a lot easier. But I'll get to that when they come. If you're someone which is developing a game, curious about developing a game, Cursor AI is effectively what I would call done for you coding. So again, I think it's a pretty viable route. I think it's definitely something that you can try out. I'm pretty sure there's like a free trial thing or something that you can use, so you don't have to pay for it immediately. But yeah, it's definitely something I'd give a look at. But other than that, that's pretty much how I'm using Cursor so far. I'll try and keep you updated in terms of how I look to continue using it over time. But with that said, take care.